Era.
What's the vibe? Salute everybody. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. You already know if you're in here, click that like button. Once the video goes up, please repost it, share it, send it. Thank you very much for joining me. All right, what we're gonna talk about today. Today was an incredible day, and I'll explain to you why today was an incredible day. What I want to highlight and what I want to lead the video with is today. As far as my community, my platform, we did absolutely nothing. No pick, no play, nothing. We actually, coming off of yesterday's insanely, astronomical high, I saw no reason to come back and force an attack today, Sunday, January 15th. So I want to lead this video by just reiterating that today we did absolutely nothing. But, and it's amazing that this gentleman drops this comment. It's the first comment I get in this live stream. Salute to Victor the GOAT, appreciate it, who understands playing defense just as much as playing offense. Keep up the great work. Appreciate all you do, brother. That just lets me know that the principles and the things that I'm saying are really, really hitting home with the community, and they're taking them to heart. Because that is what this video is mainly about, right? Today, once again, we proved how profitable observation days can be, how beneficial observation days can be, and how important strategy is, right? Great example today, and we'll get into it. We'll talk about it. Obviously, the Minnesota Cry Kings, just a spin on the Minnesota Vikings. Rest in peace to all that Minnesota Vikings money line, Minnesota Vikings futures, Minnesota Vikings Super Bowl. So much money went up in smoke today with the Minnesota Vikings losing to the New York Giants. And I want to speak about that because as far as my community is concerned, we protected the bag on multiple levels. So let's get into it and talk about it, right? Excuse me for 1 second. Let me get this out of here. We'll bring up something that's a little bit more important. And, the themes really are hitting home. So I'm going to leave this right here. Let's get to it. We'll bring it up. For those of you that are not already a member of the community, the link for that will be in the description. Salute to you. Appreciate it. So here we go. Right? Mr. Futures mic drop. Okay? That's what this is called right here. Obviously, we got Daniel Jones on the victorious side of the way things played out today, taking on the infamous Kirk Cousins, right? Who's smiling all the way to the bank, right? But today, super profitable, super beneficial in multiple different aspects. For one, the bag that was collected yesterday, the record-breaking attacks that we did yesterday, were protected for the weekend, right? As you guys know, in most situations, depending on which the way in which you lay your action. But most of the times in the underground scene, Sunday is the last day of the week. So you make or break your week with Sunday. Um, so Sunday is a very, very important day when you take it into consideration from that aspect. And we locked it up. We locked up the win. We locked up the profit. Locked up the bankroll. Protected the bag, which is the most important thing. Anybody who's not teaching you to this is a bozo, is a clown. You need to start seriously questioning where you're getting your information from, where you're getting your direction from, who you're supporting, what energy you're taking in, and who you're listening to. All these things are very, very important. Okay. Now, yesterday, obviously, we broke records. We made history as far as NFL, as far as sports betting, as far as sports handicap. Okay, so coming into today was very, very important to protect my community, but continue not even to protect my community like I'm, holier than thou, but um, it's because obviously, if there was a great game that I loved, we would have went after it. But it's about protecting the bankroll, protecting the profit, and not giving them into that urge and chasing. That's not what we preach, right? And it's a very, very simple strat as far as just observant, but it's very, very difficult to apply consistently. So very, very happy about that. But the Minnesota Vikings today were a minus 150 money line favorite. Okay, that bag is up in smoke. The Minnesota Vikings to make the Super Bowl 57, that bag is up in smoke. The Minnesota Vikings to win Super Bowl 57, that bag is up in smoke. Okay. Live betting today, the Minnesota Vikings, while they trailed in the game, that bag is up in smoke. Multiple bags went up in flames today, but not for us. No. Not for us. And this is why we're laughing. You know what I'm saying? And we're very, very appreciative and humbled in the position that we put ourselves in. Okay? So we avoided the Minnesota Vikings trap that was there by simply looking at history and realizing some of the things we spoke about yesterday about history repeating itself. Yep, happened again today. We'll talk about it. We're going to get into it. But again, salute to my entire community on protecting the bag, protecting the profit, locking up a profitable week, continuing a profitable month, continuing to break records. And we're still perfect and flawless for the 2023 sports season. So it's an insane accomplishment. We take great pride in it, which is why we're picking the games that we attack very selectively, right? We don't have to chase anything because the work speaks for itself, the consistency speaks for itself. And unlike other communities, my community actually wins. So that's why we don't have to be in a position to chase, because my community actually profits from this work, profits from my work, my content. Yeah. Notice how all the pieces of the puzzle come together, okay? So let's get into it. And it's very, very simple. It's not even like it was a difficult thing to research or look into. It's very, very simple. The Gematria element of it can be very, very much explained. Obviously, just looking at the wild card records, let's talk about it real quick on the surface. If you're new here, what I speak about is Gematria. It's a numerical code synchronized with the English alphabet and language, and we use it to prove very, very consistently and daily that these professional sports leagues are scripted by this code, and you're not actually watching a legit competitive game. What you're watching is theatrical, predetermined entertainment, and you need to wake up and realize that. Okay? So with today, the Minnesota Vikings would have lost today. They became 7-8 in the wild card. 7-8, the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, who were they playing today? Were they playing the team from New York? Yes, they were. New York equals 78. What day of the week is today? Is today Sunday? Yes, it is. Sunday equals 78. Okay. Who these people worship? Who runs these leagues? Is it the Jesuits? Yes, it is. Jesuits equals 78. Okay. And now let's take a look. Who's the starting quarterback for the New York Giants? Is it a gentleman by the name of Daniel Jones? Yes, it is. He has a middle name too. What is it? Okay, let's check it out. Daniel Jones, his full name, Daniel Stephen Jones equals 78. Number that was highlighted for this game, with Minnesota becoming 7-8. Okay, that's right there on the surface. The 78s, especially on a Sunday, gotta love it. Okay, especially in connection with New York, it was right then and there. But we can actually take it a step further, and the element in which I'm talking about when it comes to history repeating itself is just if you take a look back at at what's gone on with these two teams' history, not necessarily with each other, but their playoff history. And I'll pull it up so you guys can check it out with me. No need to take my word for it, right? So the last, as we spoke about yesterday, when it came to the Jacksonville Jaguars, their last playoff win coming on January 14th, and then they won yesterday again on January 14th. Something similar today, right? So the New York Giants last road playoff win came. Can I get a drum roll, please? Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Okay. The New York Giants' last road playoff game came on January 15th, same day as today, exactly 9 years ago. January 15th at the Green Bay Packers in the divisional round of the 2011-2012 NFL season. January 15th repeats itself. The New York Giants win another road playoff game on the exact date of their last road win in the 2011 NFL season, January 15th, highlighting it right there for you. So once again, history repeating itself, right? It's a little bit of research, a little bit of gematria, and you'll see right there that the New York Giants have just repeated history once again on this fateful day of January 15th, getting a victory. Okay. Now the number 115 can be seen in other places as well. It's a number that connects, with Freemasons. Freemasons equals 115, as well as Masonic equals 115. So the number is significant. January 15th. Why do you think the playoff games were played on these corresponding days? Starting on January 14th, 114, which was yesterday, first day of the playoffs. And this season started on September 8th, which is the day leaving 114 days left into the year. So the numbers are very, very significant, and we show you how they come full circle, right? And today was extra special for us because of the fact that, oftentimes, and it's sad at this point, but oftentimes I get bombarded with messages and DMs of people, just on to the next win. Like they want to get on to the next play, And, I don't know if it's bad habits maybe that they picked up from previous people that they've supported, or, they just have bad habits when it comes to finances or business or whatever. But being able to step back and not just appreciate a win, appreciate what we've been able to do, appreciate record-breaking, scores and hits, as well as just being able to have a day where you're not necessarily putting anything on the table. You're just observing what's going on for the future, can be way more profitable moving forward. Okay, and today highlights that specific strategy. And this is free game because obviously you're going to see people copy it, plagiarize it, say that they created it or whatever. But these are things that I've been talking about going on 4 years now, even since the beginning. It's something that people have attempted to criticize me on. When we decide to take these days where we just observe and pay close attention to what happens, and we actually don't put any action out, and we don't make a pick. We actually just take the day to pay attention to what's happening, right? Because people don't understand that. They don't understand the importance of doing something like this, the advantage that you gain. But moving forward, probably people will. They'll start to ask a little bit more questions, especially people today that were on the Minnesota Vikings. Rest in peace, all that money. Especially people that were on the Minnesota Vikings to make the Super Bowl or to win the Super Bowl. Rest in peace to all that money. Um, and yeah, a lot went up in smoke. Vegas wins once again. This is why they can continue to be profitable year after year. And what we're doing is showing people how these games are scripted using this specific code. Now, I thought another statistic that I thought was very, very funny was so the Giants became 7-5 in the divisional round, which was interesting, right? Because it's a number that connects directly to the Minnesota Vikings, right? So that was there. And that would have been tough to ignore. Minnesota Vikings equaling 75 in the pure cipher. So today the New York Giants became 7-5 in the divisional round. And if you take a look at the way in which today's game went, I thought this was so interesting. So watch this. I'll show it to you guys. I don't know if they messed up. They meant to do this, but the number is definitely right there in front of us. So let me bring up the game so you guys can check it out with me. If you pay attention to every touchdown that was scored in today's game, so there was, count the touchdowns with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There was 7 touchdowns scored today in the Minnesota and New York Giants game, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 of them. Every one of those drives in which a team scored a touchdown, the drive was a minimum of 75 yards. For every single drive that somebody scored a touchdown in this game, it was a minimum of 75 yards. And to take it a step further, with the exception of this touchdown right here, which I'm highlighting, every other drive was exactly 75 yards. So of the 7 touchdowns that were scored today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of the 7 touchdowns that were scored today, 6 of those drives was exactly 75 yards, according to ESPN. 75 yards, 75 yards, 81 yards. That was the only one that was not 75 yards as far as when it came to one of the teams scoring a touchdown. 75 yards, 75 yards, 75 yards, 75 yards. How weird is that? That with the exception of one drive, every other drive in this game in which the New York Giants became 7-5 in the wild card round, Minnesota Vikings equals 75. Every drive in which they scored a touchdown, with the exception of one, was exactly 75 yards. How crazy is that? It's crazy. And people will say that's just something that happened by accident. No, I think it's very, very indicative of how important that number was in this game. Okay. So again, guys, once again, salute. Yeah, regardless of the 25-yard touchback or not, first of all, people people take the receive the kick. It's not always a touchback, but necessarily all the touchdowns, with the exception of one, was 75 yards. And the Giants just happened to become 7-5 in the wild card round versus a team that equals 75. It's the touchback thing is there definitely, but again, it's just something to point out. Right there on the surface with the 75. So salute to everybody. Once again, appreciate you guys. It's just incredible today. Waking up and just having a magical day like we did yesterday, closing out the wild card round of the NFL playoffs. in a great position, not giving anything back immediately after. You know what I'm saying? Controlling and protecting the profit, because it's it's difficult to consistently win, obviously, but protecting the bankroll in some cases is just as important, right? We don't want to give anything back. We want to minimize our losses and maximize our wins. And things like this, strategies like this are necessary. And I'm showing to you guys once again why it's important. Why I do some of the things that I do. And in spite of people agreeing with it or not, or disagreeing with it, I show you countless examples on why it works, So just think about all that money that disappeared from Vegas today. All the NFL, all the Minnesota futures disappeared. All the Minnesota money line, all the action that came in during the game when Minnesota trailed as a home favorite. All of that, tons and tons of money just say bye bye. Let me get a tissue right quick. Let me wipe my eyes, because the Minnesota Cry Kings. Oh my God. So yeah, man, rest in peace to all that money. Rest in peace to all that money line. Rest in peace to all that Vikings future, Super Bowl or not. A lot of it went up in smoke. And I'm just glad once again we were on the right side of history, at least for right now. So I appreciate that. Salute to the community. Salute to the people that continue to support me. Thank you, much appreciated. And I think this is just another element of why, of how we continue to show that there's levels to this, and these things are not to be taken lightly. You want to pay attention, you want to ask questions. There are other things that you can do paired with Gematria, that will make you a very, very dangerous adversary against the the elite, the sports books, these online casinos, whatever it is. You can become very, very a very, very formidable opponent against the books and against the elite, and you can actually flip the script, which is what we're doing, what we're showing people how to do, very, very consistently. So salute to everybody. Thank you. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat. If you're in here, man, you gotta drop something in the chat. I know we got a lot of bozos and haters that just want to stop by and watch the stream. They're paying attention to us from afar. Probably a lot of the Minnesota Vikings money line backers for today just want to watch us and and hate from afar, but it is what it is. It's all good. Yeah, they gotta live with that. So on that note, we're gonna get up out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully you had hopefully you guys had a very, very profitable weekend. Salute, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And as we always say on this channel, Gematria at its finest. Easiest 1, 2, 3. And we'll get out of here exactly how we got here. And that is with the intro and the outro. Let's see one more time. But before we get out of here, we definitely got to say salute to my guy. Kirk Buzzins. What up? We'll get out on that note, all right? You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Appreciate everybody. Mr. Maboy joining us. Jupiter, what's good? Salute to you all. All right, we'll get out of here exactly how we got up in here, all right? One more time.
Searching.
Vibe up and vibe out. I'll see y'all.